Welcome, everyone, to Go M.A.D with Doug and Brad. Yeah. And you are going to want to make sure you stay closely tuned. Open up the notes section of your phone, grab pen and paper, because today is going to be an incredibly practical episode.
Just open it up.
It is about the summer challenge, steps to a stronger family. And now we're not just going to be like, here's the ethereal things you could do. We're going to give a bunch of ideas to get
Did you
the
just
party
use the word
started.
ethereal
things that you can do.
I did.
We almost went with that title.
I did.
Titles are hard. Titles are hard. We almost went with that title.
That would have been good. Ethereal experiences.
Ethereal experiences of the fourth level of
summer.
Of summer. Yeah. You might hear that title and go, oh well, my kids aren't in the house anymore, or wait, I'm a grown adult and you know I don't have kids. You know what? You're going to hear great steps from no matter where you are in a family. You are going to hear some ideas.
What does a
to
family mean?
Strengthen.
So
your
if I don't have
family,
kids,
okay, so maybe it's you and your spouse.
Oh.
Maybe it's you and your spouse. We've got ideas for that. Maybe it's you and your kids. We got ideas for that. Maybe it's just you and you're living with a parent. We got ideas for that.
Look at that.
And they are so ethereal. You're gonna be shocked. So two things that Brad and I always seem to discuss right before we record the podcast. Yeah. One is, does this shirt make me look fat?
Yeah, which never mind. I won't say
no, you have to. No, there's a great line from a movie, Tommy Boy, who says, "No, your face does."
I was going to quote it.
Terrible. That's so mean. We're not saying that to anybody or to each other. Just quoting movies. But titles are kind of hard, believe it or not, because like you want to be creative, but at the same time, the podcast experts say that you need for it to be kind of blatant what you're talking about. So we said, okay, summer challenge, steps to a stronger family. But we're like, no, man.
Very straightforward, very spot on.
It's stronger, kind of a boring word. Let's synonym this a little bit. So here are some that we came up with. That just maybe leave a comment when you leave a comment, leave an idea of whether you think some of these would have been better. So we almost went with summer challenge, steps to a flourishing family. Boring. No, steps to a robust.
That's
steps
strong.
To a stalwart family.
That's stronger.
Here's my favorite. And this was a synonym for stronger. You ready? Summer challenge, steps to a sinewy family.
That's gross.
It really is.
Did ChatGPT come up with that one?
So we went with stronger. Look, we all know time goes so fast. When you're a kid, you know, and your parents and adults, like, I'm telling you, time goes fast. Enjoy these days. Enjoy these summer days. Enjoy when you don't have a job. Whatever. You know, I always hear you say that, but the older you get, the more you realize time just flies. I just saw this picture of my daughter who's now 22, and I was going through my phone, and she was still a little while from coming back from college. I was missing her, and guess what picture I come across?
Oh, no. It's
Daddy in a suit, which is rare enough. What could Daddy possibly be wearing a suit for?
I don't know.
And well, look about 2 feet down, and here is my 5-year-old daughter. We went to a local daddy-daughter dance.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
The look on her face, she's like twirling around. I'm beaming. She's looking right at the camera, smiling. And I had no problem with it at all. I just went right past it and didn't cry.
You know what? This is actually Ted Cunningham, who a friend of ours. He's actually going to be on an upcoming episode.
Yes.
The phrase is so true that the days are long and the years are short. And it is so true because we wind up the iPhone photos, the memories of this day, it's the worst invention of mankind because it is constantly telling me, do you remember this? And the clock is ticking. And I'm just like, no.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise.
We're still going.
Quickly, one season following.
We're going to act out the entire
Jesse,
Fiddler
do you know what
on the
that's
Roof
from?
for you.
Oh,
there we go.
Wait. It's Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, yes.
Man, no wonder the Bible.
It's either that or Monsters, Inc.
Oh, my goodness. Are we doing this podcast today? But, you know, it's interesting. I was looking up some scripture for this episode today, it's no wonder, man. The Bible uses metaphors when it's talking about time, like grass, wind, a vapor, to illustrate how quickly life can pass. James 4, what is your life? For you're a mist that appears for a little time.
This is really uplifting.
Well, that verse, and then vanishes. That verse can either depress you or, hold on, it can motivate us to make the most, here's some more scripture, of every opportunity. Why? Because the days are evil. Yeah, there's lots of evil out there. A great way to go to war with it is to flame people on social media.
Oh,
Wait,
for
that's
sure.
not what I have here. Is to take steps to make your family relationships as strong as possible. Now, it takes thought and time. We're going to get to a few ideas for this. But again, whether you're talking about, when we say family relationship, either spouse to spouse, parents and kids, kid to a parent. So we're going to get to some ideas for everybody.
Yeah, the key is, if you've listened to this podcast, maybe it's your first time checking it out, if someone shared this with you, which is a great idea, by the way, but share this with a friend. But if you're just tuning in, Go M.A.D, Go Make a Difference is all about being an ambassador for Jesus where you live. So this is about being an ambassador this summer with the people who are closest to you, your kids, your spouse, like you said, Doug, whether it's a parent or whatever. Because what the verse that hit me was James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there's no variation or shadow due to change. Now, God gives us good and perfect gifts. We are not God. We can't do the perfection that he does, but we should desire to show his love to our family, to those around us, in a way that gives them good gifts. And summertime is an incredible time to do that, because we all of a sudden have more time. Now, I want to
love
address
that so much, by the way,
yeah.
referring to, I hadn't thought of that, but the gift of time. I mean, that is the most valuable thing, especially with busy lives. I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we know that with summer comes additional time. Now, not for those who have a job. I get that people are listening to this,
But there's a different rhythm.
I'll probably say it is. It is a different rhythm. People may be like, well, yeah, I know I'm going to take vacation time, whatever else, but we're going to just look at, as you said, Doug, Ephesians 5, making the most of every opportunity, because there's things you can do with summertime, even if you don't have a ton of extra time, like your child is off from school or home from college might. You've got to be able to find a way to tap into the extra time that they do have and to maximize that, because it is, like you said, a different rhythm.
Longer days.
Yeah.
It's bright longer. It's warm in the evenings. Communities are doing a lot more stuff in the outdoors and providing cool opportunities. Are you guys like me?
I love the pause. That was great. That was unexpected.
Oh, wait, there's more. Are you guys like me? You sit around thinking about a lot of time during it, thinking about things that America's past first ladies have said.
Jesse and I we were in a trivia competition over the weekend.
And specifically,
we weren't.
we know if we are specifically, it's going to be Barbara Bush.
Yes, of course.
But she does have a great quote. Check this out. She said, at the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal. You will regret time not spent with a husband, a friend, a child, a parent. I mean, none of us would be surprised to hear that dedicated time with our family is really, I like to call it relationship glue. Okay. Now look out. I'm bringing out the studies. You know, I like to sound smart with science. Is this science?
It is science. Yes. Good
Science. For real though, even science says, and if science says,
then it has to be.
And the internet, both science and the internet says this is true, that there's scientific proof that time with our families, not only does it strengthen relationships, it actually promotes mental health. It reduces stress and anxiety, especially with kids. And listen to this, it increases life expectancy because there's just something about being with families. It's almost like God wired us to spend time with our families and impact them. And summer is a great time to do it. We said like there's a unique rhythm. So I'm personally, we're talking about this challenge. Brad and I are personally looking at this summer, not just as hot days to get through, but I think that these are holy days to use as relationship glue with my spouse, with my kids. Holy just means set apart, right? So I'm setting apart some days, and we're going to get into specifics here, and it's going to take some thought. Set apart some days that only belong to the family, or at least there's hours in it that only belong to the family. So looking at these days as bonding agents where you can grow in a relationship at warp speed compared to other times of the year.
Yeah, and so a quick way to look at this is kind of a looking back at something we did last year called How to Avoid a Bummer Summer. But we talked about that there's 3 things you can do with your summer, really. You can waste it, you can spend it, or you can invest it. And that's what we're talking about today, is specifically investing in your family this summer. And the good news is the things we're going to share are practical and doable for anyone.
Yes.
We tried to avoid things where it's like, well, if you can drop $5,000 on a family vacation, you should do
Climb
that.
Mount Everest
This is
for
not
a closer
that.
family.
This is really trying to give you practical things, simple things that can be done, because I do like what you said, Doug, that yes, it is a bonding time, but also that I think others see that, even those who maybe don't have Jesus at the center of what they're doing, these communities see that, man, we need to do more things because we want families to, people know family strength strengthens a community.
Yeah.
And we want to be a part of that, even in this podcast today.
So we are about to get to this list, but let's just talk a little bit about this before we get into a couple good things to keep in mind, because we've all got relationships we'd like to see get stronger. Maybe there's relationships that need to be healed. This can go towards that too. So we're sharing again the summer challenge, steps to a stronger family. So here's the idea. Okay, you might have to get a calendar out. You might have to give this some thought, but it's worth it. So once a week for 2 months, you lead the charge in doing something intentional to build up your family, whether it's you and spouse, you and kids, kid with parent. Again, once a week for 2 months, you lead the charge in doing something intentional to build up your family. Now, part of making the most of every opportunity, remember this, you might have to go out of your comfort zone a bit to do this. You know, I know there's some guys out there who are, they only wear flannel and they never smile.
In the summer?
Yeah, that's how tough they are.
Wow.
That's how tough. But seriously, this is going to take a little bit of thought, but it's worth it. And who knows, you might end up creating something that your family loves so much it becomes a regular thing any time of the year. So we're going to maybe focus on less obvious things and things that aren't expensive or that take massive planning. But it'll take effort. It'll take planning, just not a ton of it, hopefully. And no matter how, last thing I'll say about it before this list, no matter how perfect or not the idea works, you go, well, what if it doesn't work? The fact that you went to the trouble, your family will notice. It'll mean a lot to family members, even teenagers. Even if they won't tell you, they'll notice, they'll remember. Some of your best memories ever as a family might come from these ideas.
Yeah, and it's just something for me personally. I am a planner by nature. Not like obsessive or anything.
Okay,
hold
on.
Yes,
You say not obsessive. So, so this is Jesse. I'm going to share something with you.
I don't know where this is going.
So Brad is actually it's part of what makes him so great at his job and leading on Eagles Wings and all that great stuff. He is such a planner. What he would do is, Jesse, he'd be 12 years old, 13 years old, and he would come up to my mom and dad and say, "Mom and Dad, I got a great idea. I'm going to the movies with my family. Jimmy's mom is driving. We'll be back at 9:30. The movie is PG for whatever language." And he would have the entire plan set up, so Mom and Dad would just be stunned and couldn't say no. He's thought of everything.
The bottom of that was, and all we need is a ride. And so basically I had lined up.
But you didn't start there.
No. I had lined up everything. And at the end of it, it's basically, so not only were they, as my dad says, not only were they going to let me down if they said no, they'd be letting down about 8 other junior hires.
This is starting to make a lot more sense of some things going on in my house. So thank you for clearing that up.
Try it.
There you go. And so, but I especially when it comes to family stuff, family vacations and trips and everything, I love for just those to be very special times, special memories. And I'm in a season right now where we did have over spring break, had a good family trip and everything. But I kind of wanted one before our busy summer season where we have our Warrior Leadership Summit Conference, the On Eagles Wings team that we're traveling with. And the days just kind of started slipping away. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to link together a week away. And even the place, I'm like, money's tight. And I'm like, well, we can't do anything really big. And then it just really hit me that I need to apply Ephesians 5:15, 16 to my own life, make the most of every opportunity. And so I've been looking for, and this is what I would encourage our listeners with, is to look for not what is your ideal, but look for what's doable. Look for what's doable.
We can't go on a week to the beach.
Yeah, and we'll make memories because for me, it's been a fact of saying, what's in our area? What can I just do today?
Yes.
Or partway through the day, all of a sudden saying, you know what, I could take an hour to go do this. And it's important to know, yes, this is going to take intentionality. It definitely will, because you have to keep saying,
worth it.
I'm going to invest. I'm going to do these things. But it doesn't mean that it has to take a long time to plan. It just means that, hey, you've got maybe this list of ideas in your holster that you're just saying, hey, I can do that one today. And if you can take a few days away, that's great. A family vacation is fantastic, but we know that's not realistic for every person, every listener. So we want to give some other ideas as well.
It's perfect. We're going to get to this list here, but I love the idea holster.
There we go.
Ethereal.
Can I do that?
Holster.
Should I do that every time you share an idea?
So here we go. Here we go. Some ideas for your idea holster here. So here we go. I'm just going to start off with one that
Notes
might sound
open,
a little good.
pen
Notes
and paper.
open.
Let's
All right,
do
you
it.
ready? Candlelight dinner from McDonald's.
Sorry, I had to do it the first.
Or candlelight dinner from Taco Bell. You go, what? Well, just hear me out here. You get a few candles. You say, hey, we're doing something special tonight. You set it up fancy in the kitchen or the dining room or whatever. You light the candles, maybe put on some, find some music online that's classical, and get a real classy restaurant vibe going.
Pull out the best plates you've got.
The best plates, yes.
If you don't have fine china, just write it on whatever you've got, fine china.
But you're serving Big Macs. You're serving bean burritos.
Put the towel over your arm.
Put the towel over. Be the maitre d'. I'm telling you, people love it. People love it. We do this thing. We call it Hutchcraft cinema. Okay,
another good idea. Yeah.
So this is not just watching a movie. We just did this the other night. Okay.
You invited my kids over for it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they loved
And
it.
we make it doesn't. So you got a 13-inch TV. You got a.
They didn't think it would be home movies from growing up, but whatever.
4 hours of it. No, we made the place a theater. Now here's how we did it. We actually air popped popcorn. This is not the microwave stuff. Okay, this is the kernels that you just get at any store. They're air poppers, or maybe $15. And get this, you melt it and put real butter on it. So healthy. You can get for $1. You can get movie theater candy. Okay, and try it. If you give it some real thought, you could try having movie snacks that line up with what's happening on screen.
I'm hearing after some of these ideas that the God and the Dad Bod Part 3 is going to be coming
Next.
soon to a podcast.
Real
I'm
butter.
just kidding.
And you
love
can
the
use
idea.
the
That's
real
great.
butter and put it all over the Raisinets for a real healthy snack. What do you got? Okay, Mr.
No,
the Dad Bod 3.
For me,
Some ethereal ideas.
These are. I mentioned that kind of 1 hour or whatever thing. Even for me, one of them is depending on the age of your kids, go grab coffee or a smoothie with one of them. Just say, hey, can I take you out for coffee this afternoon? And usually that's going to get a yes, I found. But so it is, you could just
bring your
do
4-year-old to get coffee.
and just not everything. Everything's done with intentionality. So you're continuing to build a bridge. But please, just a side note here, don't think that in everything you do, you have to have some super deep spiritual conversation. These are just have fun with them too, and build a bridge to when they do want to talk. Go for a drive and check out something different in your area. I was looking at this just the other day. I'm like, man, there's some things within a couple hours here that we have some things we like to go do, and it's like, but I've never checked out this.
There's more than you think.
Yeah, for sure. And even what you mentioned, Doug, about the communities and events they're doing, I keep going to looking in our area. What does this town have going on? What does this town have going on? Because all of a sudden these events pop up, and I'm like, I had no idea that we had a pickle festival where you can have gherkins, you can anyway.
And pickleball festival.
Well, there's
but
plenty
that's
of
the
those.
thing about summers. A lot of communities, even small ones, do things that families can have some fun at. There's so many. Yeah, look around at what is around. There are popping up all over the place retro gaming arcades where games you played maybe when you were a kid, Pac-Man or Atari, however far back you go. You bring your kids and you say, this is how it used to be, and finally you're playing a video game. If you've ever played video games with your own kids that can destroy you because it's got 94 buttons,
better than me.
I know, so fast.
I take
you're
the
like,
80s arcade and I'm like, I'm going to crush you for 18 seconds, and then you have now mastered this game as well.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, all right. It depends how. Here's one that's a little ambitious, but I'm telling you, give it a shot. You go online on YouTube, there are online dance lessons. Now, hang on. If you've never done it before, it's even better. So put in salsa dancing and try with your family.
Okay.
You get one shot at it. Put it up on the screen and say, we're learning salsa dancing, and you will fall over all over the place. You will be cracking up, especially if you're as coordinated or not as I am. Try a picnic that's like a favorite food thing. I was going to say Olive Garden, but that's like $900 now. But
actually, I love the Olive Garden idea. Because we were sharing some ideas with each other, my first thought, maybe it's the planner thing. I'm like, I'm going to have the plate, because it's like the messy Italian food and everything. And I'm like, how do I do this on a picnic? But I like the idea. I think it's good.
Yeah, man. Try learning an outside sport together. Okay, so
it's going to be pickleball.
It's going to be. You know what? I tried it. I'm telling you, we have some of our favoritist family memories from this. First, we just decided we were going to try badminton. No one had any idea how to play badminton. And we had some of our biggest belly laughs ever, because it's one of those things that looks really easy, but you can stink at it pretty good.
Trivia about Brad. I
love Brad trivia.
Took badminton as a PE credit.
Emphasis on bad.
And I was like, and I thought it was easy.
A PE credit? Yeah. What school did you go to?
We won't get into that. It was. I may have lost Jesse there. I don't know, but
outdoor stuff, backyard camping.
Yeah. Now, okay. Sorry.
I wanted to get off, but I was so afraid you were about to tell a story of me being uncoordinated.
Some of these things I've done, and here's what's great.
They went terribly.
Well, but that's part of it.
Yes, it is.
Hear
this. This is important.
Yeah, part of the trying something, and even if it doesn't go well, is you have tried something.
The laughs.
The things that don't go well stick with you just as much as some of those memories. We did backyard camping. I'm just going to start with the fact I do not have a good back. And I'm like,
especially after trying
to do this. And I mean, most of them made it through the night in the backyard. I may have been inside on the couch by the time, but just those experiences you've got there. I've got a couple more here that, take a hike, Doug.
Well, okay,
hang on.
Hang on a second. Is this about the ethereal jokes?
They cut deep.
They do. I'm wounded.
Take a hike somewhere. There's hikes everywhere. There's, in fact, this just hit me. Our family for a little while there's apps that talk about geocache or geocache or geocache. I don't know how you say it.
It's one of those.
You look and you follow these hints to find these clues. It's kind of like a scavenger, but you're following these coordinates and here's where this is. So check out one of those. This is going to sound, two more quick ones here. This is going to sound like, oh, you're very creative, Brad. You could go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby. They can have a twist to them. Yeah. You can go, and once Sarah and I went on a date, and it's one she still shares about, and I found online a Walmart bingo card. And basically,
I heard of this. That's
you go there, and some of it I'm just like, ouch. But it is, sometimes it's find someone wearing jammies at Walmart, and that took not long. But
parking lot. You're gonna have to step in.
But there were you were looking
Wait,
there.
these days at Walmart,
Find a cart abandoned in the parking lot, something like that. So you've got a list of things, and you're just going through the bingo card, and so you're making a trip to Walmart fun and creative, a trip to Hobby Lobby. Try to get out of there with your wife in less than an hour and a half. I mean, there are challenges.
By the way, the trick is actually now they've changed that on the Walmart card. You actually have to find someone not wearing jammies in Walmart.
That might take longer. And then I would say an encouragement would be, if you're like, I don't know what to do, and I've tried some of these ideas, ask them what they would like to do. Ask that. Now, they may need a little bit of time, especially your kids. Ask them, hey, I'm going to be asking you later today some things that you would like to do over the coming days. Now, their answer, first of all, may be Disneyland, and you're going to have to be prepared just to head that off. Just around this area, you could say. But Romans 12:10 says, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. It's not just about what you want to do or what you think is fun. You mentioned that, Doug, that sometimes it's, well, maybe this isn't something I want to do, and it's outside your comfort zone. Ask them what they would want to do, because sometimes they come up with some really cool, creative, fun, memory-making ideas.
Now, what if they say, I used to say no to this all the time. Dad, we have a favorite video game. If you're wise parent.
Never. Oh, wait. No, that's not.
If you're a wise parent, you put limits on all that time. But I started to find that when I played them, even though I stunk, they loved that. Their parents are always in charge. There's something about being better at this than my parent that feels good. Lots of laughter. Couple other quick ones.
I'm bottom 3 on Mario Kart every time we play, and it's just a thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm whatever bottom 3. I'm the one behind that, wherever you were. But so check this out. You go, boring. No. Family karaoke. Now, there is. It is so stinking funny. And you go, well, no one's going to want to sing. That's why, here you go. You go first. Go first. Find something goofy. When they see you, you might just have your teenager just sitting there smirking. You're still having fun together. Good old-fashioned game nights. Man, maybe,
which that's fantastic.
Oh,
game
people don't realize how strong they go, oh, Monopoly, Life, Uno. Try it. When was the last time you actually tried it? Again, relationship glue.
Again, side note, Phase 10 enrages me, but but still we play it sometimes.
It enrages me because I still can't figure out how to play it. And you know what? A couple other quick things. Maybe ask your kids or ask your spouse, hey, who's someone that needs help in this community right now? Now, I know this isn't but getting a little deeper here, but ask them how they,
one of the weeks. One of the weeks.
Maybe it's just one of the weeks, but maybe it's folks that are lonely in a retirement home. Ask them then how they think they could help them. Get their ideas, then give it a name. Give it a name, a funny name, whatever, clever name. Give it a name, and then go and put it into action together. Nothing bonds you together like serving together, especially when they own it. And a couple quick ones here. A couple quick ones for couples. Okay, and then we can wrap
I've got
up here.
one I want to share.
You
there
do
too. Yep.
Excellent. A DIY, a do-it-yourself spa night. Now, I have never done a spa. I have never been in a spa, and so I mean, you might have to actually
That's
Google
shocking.
it. Look at you can't tell my beautifully manicured.
I would have never guessed.
Shocking. Oh man, I feel like it's an ethereal experience, but it's but no, there are, especially if you're a guy and you set up a spa night for your wife, she
all
will
I can
be
think
shocked.
of is getting cucumbers and putting them on the eyes. That's all that's going through my mind right now because I don't know what else to do. But.
And one other quick one. Look in your community. You might be surprised what free or very inexpensive classes are being offered, especially during the summer. Cooking, a dancing class, something where it's just you and me, honey, and we're going to make a night of it. And again, we're committing. Don't forget, we're committing to do this once a week.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
For 8 weeks.
And I would say with your spouse, the theme dates are fantastic. Our church kind of encouraged us with this
You
years
guys
ago.
are so good at this,
50s
Brad.
night,
Yes.
an 80s date, something that's just fun. It doesn't have to be expensive. You just, what's in my closet that makes me look like Fonzie? I don't know, which... Quite honestly, probably way too much. I probably have collected way too much over the years that I could be like, I'm Fonzie. But do something that just kind of brings a little spark. And again, you could do that with a family just to say, hey, we're going to do 50s or whatever.
What about going to Walmart?
And the 50s
there we go. Outfits? Yeah, man.
Well, that actually, that would be pretty fun, actually. I think that there is one thing I would encourage that hadn't hit me before. Some of these ideas, some of these things, and Doug and I have tried several of these, have done these, repeated many of them. But the sooner you start... you can do these at any age. Please know that, especially we've included things that can be at any age, the coffee and whatever else, and walks and hikes and all that. But some of the more ones that have you putting yourself out there more, family karaoke,
the best
things
ones.
like that. You want to start, if you start early and your kids know that, hey, my parents are a little wacky. They're just they're wired a little differently. Yeah. That is a really good thing, and you should lean into that because all of a sudden they know that anything can happen. Fun can burst out at any moment. Laughter can happen because it's something different. And we are, as followers of Christ, we should be wired a little differently. And we still should be able to have a lot of fun.
That's such a great point, Brad. And you guys, by the way, you and Sarah do those theme dates so good because you really go for it.
I think we're due for one for a while, but yes.
We've got, as parents, you already have positional authority. Okay, just by being the parent, you have authority. Don't be afraid to do something different and a little goofy. When you do that, you get something that's super powerful as well. You get personal authority with your kids because they're willing to have fun. They're willing to goof off a little bit. So go for it. Now, maybe just wrapping up here for a sec, maybe you have kids, especially teenagers are like this, who only want to do things when their friends are there. Okay, we have run into this before. I only want to do it if JoJo is there. I don't know if the name was actually JoJo, but rather than fighting it, if you want to think about this, if you want to improve a relationship with your kids, maybe invite their friends once or twice to the family things, like meals or whatever you're thinking might be fun. You might not even like the friends, okay? But this is a great way to get to know them and show your young person you're ready that you care about who they care about. Just want to do a little aside there for families that are dealing with that.
We do. I know we've got to wrap things up here. Our dad was reminding us recently that one of the ways that if you're not sure about some of the friends in your kids' lives or whatever, or you're a little just nervous about in today's world your child going to someone else's house, make your place a great place to hang out. Ooh. Make it a place with fun and some special touches. And man, we're coming over and you're making milkshakes when they're there. Not spontaneous, not where it's like, hey, come over and we're going to do these 8 things. It's just, hey, friends are hanging out. I want to do something special for them because then you're getting to know who they know, and it's a special experience. You should enjoy those times.
That's so good.
Before we do wrap up, and Doug, you can take us out here, but I want to just say a quick word about what else you can expect this summer from Go M.A.D, because we're going to be talking.
Oh, this is going to be awesome. First time we've ever tried this.
Yeah. Usually we disappear
this
for the summer because we are on the road and we're traveling a lot with the On Eagles Wings team and all that. But we just are going to be able to talk with some of our special Make a Difference friends and some who we haven't met yet, who are going to get to know the first time on this.
Some cool surprises here.
Yeah, and so over the next several weeks, the next couple of months, you're going to get to hear from some of these friends of ours. So keep tuning in. They're ambassadors that are making a difference.
We'll still be. We're on these podcasts.
Oh, yeah. No, that very good point.
But we've got some great friends, some great interviews that we promise are still going to be practical struggle. I'm excited about this. We haven't tried this before. Like you said, we disappeared for the summer. Not this year, even if you've been wanting us to disappear for the summer. Tough luck. So we hope that you will join us and check out those brand new podcast episodes with these great interviews. And we're also hoping, even praying, that you'll join us in this summer challenge. And if you can't remember exactly what it was, it's the summer challenge, Steps to a Stronger, Flourishing, Robust, Stalwart, Sinewy Family.
And on that note,
all right, fine. Summer challenge, Steps to a Stronger Family. We hope you'll do it. So come on, Brad. Here we go. Let's do it.
To all of you. Until next time,
Go M.A.D.